Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Bloomy Brain Podcast, where you come to water and nourish your brain, in turn seeing your mind, body, and spirit bloom. Today on the show, we have a very special guest, Coach James. So Wilmington, you guys know him as Coach James from F45, and now the whole world will know you as Coach James or James from F45, and that is where we met each other. Yeah. So we're going to kind of go into that today, but how are you doing today? First podcast.
Yeah, this is sweet. This is a new experience, and I'm excited to kind of get on this platform just to, share what F45 is all about and one of my loves and passions.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, why don't you start with telling us a little bit about yourself and what kind of inspired you to pursue a passion in fitness or pursue a career in fitness?
Yeah, so F45 group fitness class. Mm-hmm. Never thought I was going to do anything group fitness related. I was always kind of like go to the gym, headphones on, do my thing. Lone wolf kind of style.
Yeah.
And I was personal training. My dad's a chiropractor, and so I have that kind of background where my dad was always working out and I was working out with him. And that's kind of a Christmas tradition was go work out in the morning after we open up presents and stuff like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and so he has a gym attached to his office, and I was doing one-on-one personal training, and was really enjoying that and working at GNC. So I was kind of all in the health and wellness stuff. And I was going to school, doing my undergraduate for exercise science. Mm-hmm. So I was just kind of seeing what I wanted to do, probably going to chiropractic like my dad.
Yeah.
But as I was personal training, I got tagged in a Facebook ad for the F45 there in Louisville, Kentucky. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of the rest is history. I got in there and was coaching and loved the atmosphere. It opened my eyes to what fitness can be.
Yeah.
When you're around people and you're around the music and you're around the community and the coaches. And so I just dove headfirst into that. I was still personal training one-on-one, still working at GNC a little bit, and going to school. I was doing a lot of stuff at that time.
Yeah.
It was nuts. But then kind of GNC and the personal training kind of fell by the wayside because when we reopened in COVID, I was able to take on one of the studios there in Louisville to manage it and run it. And being, I think it was 23 at that time, 22, I told the owner, I was like, hey, I could do this, the position was open. I'm willing to go for it. And she let me have the opportunity. So I ran with it and had a lot of fun, met a lot of amazing people. Shout out to F45 Crestwood.
I didn't even realize you were at a different one before the Wilmington one.
Yeah, I was a manager there for 2 years.
Wow. Okay, cool. Yeah. The more you know, right? Yeah. So what brought you to Wilmington then?
Yeah, so during 2021, me and my wife, we went on an anniversary trip to Wilmington, and we fell in love. And we just were like, this is kind of where we want to, start our family, put down roots and stuff, because we'd both been in Kentucky for so long, both being raised there and whatnot. And then we came back in 2022. Had another anniversary trip in August, and that's when we were kind of scoping out places and everything, and I saw there's an F45 here, and I was like, thank goodness, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, because
that's awesome.
I thought it was so small that they wouldn't have one. Mm-hmm. So that was a blessing. And so I kept in touch with the manager that was there at the time, Hannah, and kept messaging the owner, Ben. He thought it was crazy. But then when we moved here last year, middle of 2022, so we came here in 2020 and 2021 for the anniversary trip. So 2022, halfway through, I was just going to come out here and do a sales marketing job. Mm-hmm. And I was really upset because this is the place we want to live, but I wasn't going to be doing what I love to do, which was, be with the people, be in that community, run a studio basically.
That really says a lot about the business, that you were still going to be moving to the beach, but you were thinking like, no, I have to be in here. It's vital to my happiness.
Yes. And my wife, she definitely saw that, and there were some like opportunities like stay in Kentucky and still do that, but we just like knew that like coming out here to Wilmington was the right move for us personally.
Yeah.
So we just had to kind of put that to the side at that time. But some higher power knew what was in store here.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. So a week before I was coming out here, I got the call saying, hey, we actually have a spot open for you.
Oh my God, how divine. That's like just seamless how you fell right into it.
Yeah, I came down the stairs and I just had this grin from ear to ear. My wife's like, what just happened? What just happened? And I was like, there's a new opportunity.
You're like, I'm going to get to have my cake and eat it too.
Yes.
Like, we're going to Wilmington, baby.
Yeah, so I went out and here I am, loving it.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, describe a little more in depth. What is F45? Like, take us through it.
It's everything.
Seriously.
Well, for me, that's what my wife would say. But what it is, it's a 45-minute workout. So it's very good for those that are the people that are time poor, that just don't have a lot of time on their hands. We focus on cardio and also strength. So it's kind of the best mix of both worlds to gain lean muscle. It's kind of our whole goal. We're not here to become power lifters or marathon runners, but we're here to just live healthy lives. And in that 45-minute span we give you the best results. We're the first 45-minute workout, so we focus on functional movements to where we're doing dead ball pickups and tossing over the shoulder like if you were moving houses. You're going down picking up a box.
Yeah, I think about getting my groceries a lot too. I'm like, this has made me the best grocery carrier like in Wilmington since starting. Well, now tell me a little about your role while these classes are going on, if they're your classes, because I feel like this is what sets you guys apart too, the level of coaching you guys are able to do. Yeah, so we pride ourselves on being a group class, but also giving that personal training touch. So we're not just a rah-rah, get in the front of the room, go through the movements like you'd think like a Zumba class or something like that. You have your exercises and you go from station to station, however the workout's formatted. And then me and another coach go around and help with form, help with motivation, maybe jump in a set and do it with you. Yeah, that's always fun. That's why we wear like workout clothes when we coach, because we're sweating there right there along with you. Yeah, absolutely. I noticed one of the other coaches was stretching with us last week too, because I'm like, you guys are doing this like throughout your day. You absolutely should stretch as well. And I will say, like the pointers that you guys give, especially with the movements and our form, it will feel just like a world of difference by changing just a couple minor little things, like minor tweaks that I myself would have never known to do or thought to do, because I'm not seeing what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So the fact that you guys are able to like describe and capture visually what we need to change in our form to get better results is just so cool on top of everything else. Yeah. My like mentor that I've learned a lot from, shout out Melissa, thank you. She always told me that we're your mirrors. So you're in this class, you're enjoying your time, but we're there to help you be the best person that you can be and to help you see what you do not see. Yeah. So if you're going into a deadlift and your back is arched, we're going to help you in the best way possible. Something tailored to you to help you show that, hey, we need to keep that back straight as you come down, keep that core engaged. So that's something that like we make sure every coach is doing is those pointers, is those touches where they're going around making those connections, but also like, helping them have the best experience possible. Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. And you guys absolutely are doing that for us. Let me ask you, what do you think, or let's talk about the difference between hard and challenging, because kind of how I got into F45, just a little briefing, is a friend of mine that does like every gym under the sun that's pretty cool. Was telling me like, oh my gosh, if you've never done F45, like Carly, you love to work out, you will be obsessed with this. Yeah. And I do love to work out. I love just a traditional gym. I love taking classes around town. I go to Hot Works as well, but I was very intrigued when said friend kept insisting, like, you have to go, you have to go, you have to go. But for so long, I would hear people say, oh my gosh, like, I don't know about F45, it's really hard, or I tried F45, it was really hard. And I'm someone who loves an intense workout, but I think the connotation of the word hard leaning more towards negative versus the connotation of the word challenging still being hard but having more of a positive connotation linked to it. I think that deterred me for so long. So do you think that this is a hard or challenging workout? Because I feel like anyone can do it.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think challenging is the perfect word, because I'll be at a station and there'll be a 16-year-old in high school, and then right next to me will be a 45-year-old just getting after it, you know, staying in shape for their health and for their grandkids or their kids or whatever. So it just shows to me that like this workout is for everybody first, and then second, you know, that's what we want challenging, because that's what's going to bring results. That's what's going to like get us to whatever fitness goal that we have.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then another thing is like with the workouts, us coaches are able to modify up or down to whatever your skill level is. So if we had this crazy box jump and you're like, oh my gosh, that's too high, we're like, hey, let's do a step up. Let's rock that out and let's go as hard as we can with that. And then we'll get to that box jump later down the road. But right now, let's focus and like go all out on this step up and get the best workout that you can get.
Yeah. And that's what I really like about it too, is that anybody can do it. So you have, like you said, people from all ages, backgrounds, like every single type of person is in here from 15, 16, all the way up until I feel like 60s, 70s. Do you guys have anyone in their 80s?
No. The oldest I've ever coached is 76, I think.
Wow. Yeah. So it's really cool. I mean, even seeing pregnant women like your wife in there, just absolutely getting after it. It's really cool. And just the fact that it helps you to stay motivated too, being in the presence of other people working hard. So I definitely feel like that's one thing that is just really good about it, is to know that it's challenging, not hard. It's just challenging, and you should absolutely try it. But aside from that, what sets the workouts at F45 apart from other workouts, would you say?
Yeah, that's a great question, because F45 is the first like 45-minute workout. And so like over the years, they've definitely done things to revamp it and to make it more interesting and to add more wow factor. But really it's our technology. And then the brand that creates that community. That's like the most important thing of F45 is like the community. Because if you don't have a community, you don't have a gym, really. And so with the community and with the technology, and by technology, I mean like our TVs that show the timing, show the workouts or exercises, to where you're never lost, where you're able to go through the workout and feel completely comfortable and not like you're in this like cattle herd, just going around being pushed around. But it's very organized. I call it organized chaos. And then the coaches. I think it's the coaches that separate any gym. Because you can have an F45 in California and you can have F45 here in Wilmington, and it's all going to be based on, you know, the coaches and the type of skill set they have and the abilities and the love and want to help others.
Yeah, absolutely. My sister, even after speaking of just the coaches and being like the face of the business and the people that, you know, the other people are drawn to want to come in there and have a great workout while being uplifted and around positive, happy people. When my sister came to work out with me that time, she was like, people with golden retriever energy are the best people. Coach James has golden retriever energy. I was like, oh my gosh, he so does. He's always so happy. Goodness. But I'm like, it makes sense because you guys are in there working out. Oh my gosh, I would be so happy too if I got to work out all day long. One thing off the top of my head, and I actually jotted this down at the last class because I cannot remember. I feel like it was the last one I was at when the music cut out was like a leg day, and it was really hard. And there were so many stations. And when the music cut out for just a moment, I was like, this is such a different experience. Like it's still one that I would want to be at because it's such a great workout, but the music being up so loud and the playlists being so good, I'm always asking you guys, like, what is the playlist? What is the song? And they're always like, it's Fit Radio. I'm like, okay, I've asked this like 10 times, but but the music is just so good, and it truly like keeps you going. And some of the things like the jumping around or like the step ups that have like rhythm to them, I'm always like trying to go with the song and challenge myself to do that even. And a lot of you guys, as you like take us through all of the stations before we start, some of the instructors are like, we're gonna see who has rhythm today. I'm like, okay, say less. Like that's a challenge. So I do feel like F45 is a great community for people that have are competitive by nature too, which is fun. But then you have people in there that could care less and they're in their own zone. It's as if they're the only one in there because they're so focused, like Eye of the Tiger. So yeah, I missing out on that music, it really made me think. I was like, the music is just what I love about this. And then when I brought my other friend that I told you loves raves, I was like, do you see why I love this? It's like a day party and we're working out and like burning calories at the same time. Yeah,
I always tell the coaches, like, finding the right playlist is the hardest part about the job. Like it's not the connecting with people, because that just comes easy. That's naturally, if this is what you're meant to do and it's what you love doing, it's that finding that right playlist. Because if that playlist is not right, I mean, you are just thrown off. It's hard to like get into a rhythm coaching. So it's like, it's a lot of pressure.
It's so funny too, because I've heard them be like turned off a time or two when they get like too explicit. I've heard them be changed if like we're doing something that's like a little bit more cardio and it's not as fast, like the beats per, what is it called? Beats per minute. So then you guys will speed it up. So you even saying that makes me think that's like cool that you guys are spending time and being meticulous about the music that we're working out to.
Yeah, we make sure all the coaches, like, we have a set of playlists that have been favorited, and it's like, you gotta choose from these.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm like, can you send me that whole file, please, of all the playlists? Do you think exercise is something that everybody should be doing, not only for the body but for the mind, and to reap in the mental health benefits?
For me, so I'm religious, LDS. And I've always said, like, the physical and the spiritual, and even the emotional, it's just all connected. So to be spot on emotional and, you know, well, not spot on, but, you know, to be in a good place, emotional and spiritual, you've got to be in a good place physical. So yes. And I mean, there's so many people you kind of mentioned that are just like, could have a care less about the competitiveness. There's a good handful. I'd probably say 33% of the people that come are it's mental. It's just how they start their day. They're a routine person. They come in, it's the same thing, and that's just what they love. They do it for them, and they do it for just you know, that, what's the word I'm looking for?
Just that good, like, blissful, euphoric feeling.
Yeah, the endorphins that come from it.
Yeah, those good, happy brain chemicals.
Yes, yeah, it's definitely something that happens at the studio, and everyone feels that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I tell my family. I'm definitely the one in my family that enjoys to work out the most. And, you know, I tell them like when I have to make time for it, or it's like later at night and I might, you know, go to the gym or something. They're like, you know, why do you have to? You look fine, or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I promise it's not about a look. This is like my natural antidepressant, my like happy, this is my thing. I crave this daily. And going off of that, it's interesting because, you know, you see the little like things like the Instagram health things or Pinterest health things that are like work out 3 to 5 times a week to live healthy. And, you know, that's incredible. Like if someone has the time to work out that much, that is awesome. Personally, I do like to work out like 6 to 7 because of the mental benefit, even if it's just a walk or a hike. And for so long I wondered, and I had seen other things about like that's doing too much, you shouldn't do that much. But you know, I just do my own thing. And then I was like, when I brush my teeth or like drive in the car, just do like cook in the house, like do mundane little tasks, I will type in things on YouTube like health tips, this or that, blah, blah, blah. And it said the #1 anti-aging thing that is better than any serum, any supplement, any cream, anything you can eat is working out daily, even if it's just for 30 minutes. So I thought that was very interesting. It was saying something about something being able to like penetrate the dermis of your skin deeper than serums ever would, just like by getting that blood flow moving and getting your heart rate going. So I thought that was cool too.
Yeah, that is cool. Maybe I should like stop working out so I could get rid of this baby face and get some more hair.
No, oh my God. And I do feel like being surrounded by people that work out a lot, everybody does have a more youthful appearance to them, which is cool.
No, yeah, we definitely have a lot of people, I mean, that are 50 or 60 and you just would never know.
Yeah.
They're just in there like, they're usually the hardest workers too.
I've noticed.
And I'll be in there working out and, I mean, they're just yelling at me like, pick up the heavier weight. I'm like, golly, leave me alone.
I know, and when like you guys will come around to me and be like, Carly, go heavier, go heavier.
On, it's the side that's like, Carly.
I know, and I'll be next to somebody that is older, like just doing so much more than me. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that really says something about, you know, how hard they're going. But I'm getting there. I'm building that muscle little by little.
You are.
Who do you think can benefit from this workout? Everyone?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely everyone. I mean, and that's the thing, like people think they have to like build up their cardiovascular endurance or their strength or anything like that. Just come on in and we'll help you wherever you're at. Yeah. And that's the thing, people just get scared or think they're not ready, but no matter where you're at, you're ready. And it's funny that you mentioned that because it was Thursday. We had someone come in. It was first class with us, and she had a baby probably a year ago and just had done nothing. So her pelvic floor was a little weak, and it was hard for her to have balance, and just she hadn't done anything physically active in probably a year. And she was able to come in and get a great workout. It wasn't to the point to where she was dead and couldn't move or anything like that. Yeah. But the movements we were able to just really simplify for her, help her focus on the fundamentals of working out. And there was one move where it was like a squat to a press, and all I had her do was just stand there and just nice squat, just get a squat, just air squats. And so that's something maybe you'd see at Planet Fitness, but when you come to F40, you don't have to think about it. Just come and we'll help you through wherever you're at.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I was thinking about this, especially because I noticed that there are a lot of small business owners that come to you guys. And I think about like my mind too, and how sometimes me being a little all over the place with all that I'm working on and having to keep up with, it can make for this scatterbrainness in a traditional gym where I'm like, oh my gosh, like my mind is 3 different other places right now. The last thing I can think about is like the regimen I want to follow and what I want to do in here. Not that I don't love that type of workout too, and it has its own benefits and pros, but it is so nice that you guys have something planned out for us that is always different, and just so much fun in its own special way each time, no matter like who the coach is or how long the workout may be, because some of them, the Saturday ones, are like an hour, right? An hour, or if they're Sam's yoga class. So it's fun just to get in there, get it on, not have to think about a single thing, and just like be taken away by the music and all that you're going to complete in there and the workout for the day. Yeah.
That's something special about F45 is I've been here with F45 for like 3.5 years and never seen the same workout twice.
Yeah.
So we have over maybe, I think it's 60 to 65 formats.
Oh, wow.
But they never throw in the same workout in the same format. So, or the same exercises, I should say. So you're always seeing something different. And we have the best of the best programming these workouts. We have Gunnar Peterson, who trains a lot of actors and high profile athletes.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. I have seen people go to his gym, and I like the way his gym is like set up too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. He's a pretty cool guy. And we did a big thing with him last year where he came on F45 as one of the programmers for the workouts.
Oh, wow.
So he has a say in a lot of what gets programmed. And when you have the best of the best doing the programming, it makes it easy for us coaches just to, coach our heart out and, give the best experience possible.
Yeah. And that's what I love about the classes too, is that you can read about them. Like as a writer, when I'm reading through them all the time, I'm like, this is done so well. The fact that you're like giving people what they want to see, because not even like I would come just to come, even if there wasn't the writing on the app that's so descriptive, like taking you through the workout. But when you're already getting excited about it the day before, you want to read about it and go ahead and think like, okay, there's, especially as a female, there's so many different types of workout outfits that we have. Like some are more cardio based, some are more for weightlifting. The yoga ones are completely different than that. So the fact that you guys offer that, which can then help us to kind of like be prepared, even as far down to like, what do I want to eat tomorrow or tonight? Like, should I, eat a little bit more carbs? Should I do protein in the morning? Should I do it before, after? Stuff like that, I think, is just so cool how meticulous you guys are and organized with everything.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That is something special. We have that app that, shows the workouts that are coming up, and we have them programmed in and, able to see what's on the horizon.
Yeah, absolutely. So what advice do you have for anyone listening out there that wants to begin a fitness journey but just doesn't know where to start?
That's a great question. I would first say, like, what are your goals? Where do you want to be? You got to have kind of a destination, and I wouldn't make big goals. I would make smaller goals, something that you could reach in, not that long of a time, maybe a month or month to 3 months. And then create a plan, do some research. Come check out F45.
Yeah. Top of the list.
But start with goals. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have like a destination you're trying to get, you're going to be driving aimlessly.
Absolutely. Yeah. So walk before you can run, make it to base camp 1 of Mount Everest before trying to tackle the whole thing.
Yeah.
I made it a point in here to talk about, with this question, to talk about James Clear, a quote from his book, Atomic Habits. This really helped me in a variety of different ways and facets in my life. But he says, focus on becoming 1% better every day, because think after a month, 30 days, 6 months, a year, think how much that percent will have climbed by just doing that 1%. So whatever that 1% may be to you. And now I'm remembering something else from the book. He talked about this. So the premise of the book is just forming good habits and things that are habitual to us. Like, let's take eating, for example. Eating is a great example of something that's habitual that releases dopamine. So habits, we link them to feeling good typically. So of course, when we eat, we're going to feel good and be excited to eat. So the book is just trying to take people through how to form better habits, and talks about this one man wanting to start a fitness journey, and he's very overweight is what the doctor had told him. And, he wanted to go to the gym, but he had no desire. He's never been a gym person. He's never liked it. He has no desire to be there. So he was like, I'm going to form the habit before I ever actually start to work out. So I'm going to force myself 5 days a week, so Monday through Friday after work, to get a gym membership. And all I have to do is walk through those doors and then walk in and then turn around, walk right back out. And he started by doing that. And before he even knew it, he's deciding, okay, like, this is a habit. This is just what I do now. Like, I might as well stay here and work out. And then before he knew it, the weight is falling off, and it was by making that a habit. So I love that you say, like, start small, set goals, and continue to grow from there. As many of us at F45 know, you are a new father to a beautiful baby girl, little Sanny. What would you say that you hope to see change for future generations to come regarding health and wellness? I mean, even thinking about your daughter, what do you hope to see that maybe we're lacking in now that you just are praying significantly changes by the time she's old enough to realize and continues into her adult years?
That's deep. That's a good question too. I would say more connection through working out, and it being more of like a norm. Than like a niche.
Absolutely.
Because I think for a lot of people, like a group class, I know for a lot of guys specifically, that's not cool. Yeah. But it's the best way to work out. Yeah. It will keep you consistent. You won't fall off the wagon. I mean, there's a select few that, are able to just, they grind and they hit that gym every morning, and that's just some people. Some people like to do their own, but for majority people love connecting, and they love the getting to know people, and they love just the love that comes from being in a community. And so I would just say, like, group classes becoming the norm and something people want.
Yeah, I like that. And I think that absolutely is something that the future generations can use more of, and we should make it a norm rather than a niche. And it kind of makes me think back to when I first moved to Wilmington almost 7 years ago, and a lot of my friends were attending UNCW, and I found out that they were like required to complete fitness classes. Like, one of their classes literally might be yoga. Meanwhile, I'm like paying for a membership somewhere. I'm like, wait, this is so cool that like you're required to do this. And I feel like, so I always talk about too, like how I think that meditation should be mandatory in schools, especially elementary schools, even if it's just taking that moment to, decompress and practice mindfulness and just breath work. I really feel like, besides recess, because, sometimes recess it's still exercise, but maybe incorporating more group classes into elementary school settings and middle school settings, more so than there already are. I think could be cool.
I think some of the most the memories that I think about most when I think about like school is like being in a gym class and like doing physical activities together in like groups. Like, yeah, do you remember that multicolored parachute thing?
Oh, when you run under it,
lift up and you run under.
Yes,
like that's just something so simple, and it got you moving and it got you connecting with others and stuff like that. So that's something I always think about. But I mean, there's just so many pluses with working out with others. Yeah,
absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. So I do think that is where we're headed as a future. Significantly healthier, happier, and more mindful than we are now. So cheers to that. Is there anything that you would like to leave us with today, or anything else you would like to talk about?
I think I'll just end with just saying that, you know, at F45 Mayfair and also here at F45 Midtown, if you're ever looking for a place where you just want to have fun, where you just want to kickstart your fitness journey, and you want to meet new people, you want to meet some awesome coaches.
Shout out Coach James.
There's a lot of awesome coaches out there. And just have fun and be part of a community. We're always have open arms for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you all for being here today. Until next time, stay bloomy brained.